Video here, and for round one we're going to be talking about the deck Windups. Windups is a very interesting deck that you've probably all heard of from way back when they had the original Hunter Loop, into which it just became an XYZ spam deck. I'm here to explain how this deck is going to be very influential in the current meta. Windups is a very cool toolboxy deck that can do a lot of really crazy things. Some of the things that Windups can do is they can completely summon any number of rank 3, 4, and 5 monsters. Now, keeping that in mind, you also got to remember that Windups is a deck that throughout the time has been able to do some very interesting things. One of which was they were able to help create the XYZ Utopia deck. Now, with all of this in mind, you should realize that Windups were able to do all of this while working with other cards, such as they can kind of do their own thing while having a separate little thing going on over here without having any conflictions at all. You can be able to summon the Windup cards or just keep the Windup cards in your hand, because Windups can use the card effects from their hand, field, graveyard, and even the banished zone, including with the Windup Magician being able to pull cards straight out of the deck. With all of this, you can start to realize that there is a current meta deck going around that you can start tying into the Windup deck. The current meta deck is the Hat, the Hands, Artifact, Trap Tricks. Now, Windups are able to perfectly utilize each one of these aspects, and I'm going to explain it all really quickly. First of all, Windups can use the Hands. Hands are a special deck that focus, or is just a little type that is just a bunch of level 4 monsters. It has 3 fire and 3 ice, which the fire ones pop monsters, ice pop spells, as you know. Now, you are able to perfectly use this in the Windup deck because you can summon the fire hand, pop your opponent's entire field by having it crash into stronger monsters, and then at the end you're left with a monster on the field, and you are able to, on your next turn, go completely off and then XYZ summon using the hand. This is just one of the many possible uses, along with the fact that Ice Hand is a water type monster, which works amazing because not only is Ice Hand a water type monster, but Shark is as well. Using these two cards, you are able to make the card Abyss Dweller, and this card will shut down the entire Hat deck because everything about that deck focuses around the graveyard. So being able to use the Abyss Dweller to shut down all the effects and be able to constantly get the attack boost on all of your Ice Hands and your Sharks, it is just quite amazing. Moving on, there's a second part of this deck that is out there called Artifacts. Artifacts is a deck that what Artifacts can do is they set the monsters in the back row, and when anything happens to them, including you using your own cards, they are able to constantly summon things out that are level 5 and do different things such as Moral Tech, destroying your opponent's cards, and Scythe, saying your opponent can special summon from the extra deck. Knowing these two things and keeping them in mind, you gotta know that these cards take up the back row while Windups focus on the main row. So using these two things together, you can realize that Windups and Artifacts can work together in a perfect combination. Artifacts will be able to pop your opponent's cards on their turn and then set up really strong monsters, and on your turn you're able to go off and use the fact that the Artifacts are level 5 to combine with your Sharks and Warriors to make rank 5 XYZs. That is just, again, another possibility of the Windups being combined. The last one is with the actual Trap Tricks. Windups are able to play a very heavy back row, and the fact that Trap Tricks can use a normal summon just to get more back row, be able to keep maintaining that, and also have the level 4 while controlling your opponent's field. It is just an amazing thing, especially with the fact that if you use cards like the Soul Charge or the Call of the Haunted, you can use the MSD effect of the Murmillo. Now, with all of this in mind, you will know that Windups are able to not only utilize every aspect of the Hat deck, but be able to use them all in different separate means that are really good. I would not suggest trying to play all 3 at the same time in Windups, but I think that it is a very viable deck if you use each separate part. Tell me what you think in the comment section below about this. Remember to like this video if you liked it, and if you have any other questions or comments, make sure to say it below. Thanks for watching, VO out. Yeah.